folks! This video is about transitioning colored pencils. Now when we do this, we're going to use analogous colors. Analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. For mine, I'm going to be using red and orange. You can see that above I used green and blue. Now the colors you choose are your decision, but you want to choose ones that are close to each other on the color wheel because they're going to blend into one another very successfully. If you chose contrasting colors, it would not go as well for you. Now to start off, I'm going to draw a rectangle. You can see that I already did that, and choose one color to begin with. Now I'm going really hard with my pressure on the edges because it's going to be that pure color. As I get closer to the center, I'm not pressing as hard, which you can see with my orange. And then I'm gonna switch eventually and grab the red. Now as I'm working, I'm not only increasing or decreasing my pressure, but I'm also coloring in multiple directions. You cannot only go horizontally, but you also want to draw in little circles as well. This is going to allow you to get rid of some of that paper texture. The paper texture is that white speckly stuff that you can kind of see through your color. You don't want that by the time you're finished. And coloring in multiple directions is going to help you get rid of some of that. As you can see, I just picked up the red. I'm going very distinct. I'm getting my border in, having good craftsmanship, and coloring in quite darkly on the edges because this is where my pure color is. I'm doing little circles as well as drawing and coloring horizontally to get rid of my paper texture. As I get closer to the center, I'm lighter with my pressure because eventually my orange and my red are going to layer on top of each other. You do not want to have a distinct area where this is where my red stops and this is where my orange starts. For this situation, we want it to be a gradual transition, so you need to layer your colors. Make sure you are blending and switching back and forth between your colors so you can do this successfully. It is always easier to gradually increase your pressure and gradually make your values darker than it is to try to erase. Colored pencils don't always like to be erased, so it's always smarter to start light and then go darker. Going back and forth, not a lot of pressure here. I'm barely touching my paper, especially in the center, so I'm not making it too heavy-handed. I want that to be a very soft transition from orange to red. I do not want to be able to point at my paper and say, this is where the orange stops and this is where the red starts. I want it to kind of, because that's the whole point of this video and the whole point of doing transitions. Very important skill to have, and the more you do it, the better you will become and the more confidence you'll have with colored pencils. And then you're done. I'm going to do one more quick one just so you can see the differences using a different color. So I'm going to speed this up and do it with some purple and pink. Now I'm using a darker pink so it's not such a harsh transition because again, you want it to be very gradual, switching back and forth, coloring in multiple directions, and making it a nice soft transition. The more you do this, the better you'll become, so practice is always a good thing to do and have. I hope this was helpful. Good luck with your transitions.